back again. Unknown brother. Unknown brother.
Masticate.
Bit by
Over their
bit,
heads flap the banner of the storks.
We're gonna talk a bit about Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire, I believe is the series.
45742.
I'm not sure.
A Game of Thrones.
So, Game of Thrones.
A Song of Ice and Fire.
We're only doing a 10-15 minute.
By George R.R. Martin. Copyright 1996 by George R.R. Martin. Read by Roy Avers.
This book was originally created for audio
So
cassette playback.
Write that down.
Any announcements concerning cassettes do not apply to this recording. This version contains a marker allowing direct access to the beginning of the book.
Library of Congress annotation. In a bygone world of decades-long seasons, three families struggle for the throne. When Honorable Lord Eddard Stark of Winterfell is sent south to be the hand of the king, he faces many ambitious and ruthless people. Meanwhile, the king contends with wildlings.
So what the fuck is he talking about?
This recording.
Is he telling me a story?
This version contains a marker allowing direct access to the beginning of the book.
Okay, we have to look.
Library of Congress annotation. In a bygone world of decades-long seasons, three families struggle for the throne. When Honorable Lord Eddard Stark of Winterfell is sent south to be the hand of the king, he faces many ambitious and ruthless people.
See me?
Meanwhile, the king contends with wildlings and creatures beyond the domain wall. Some descriptions of sex, some strong language, and some violence. 1996. From the book jacket. From a master of contemporary fantasy comes a novel of imaginative power unlike any you've ever read before. In A Game of Thrones, George R.R. Martin has created a genuine masterpiece, bringing together the best the genre has to offer. Mystery, intrigue, romance, and adventure fill the pages of this magnificent saga. The first volume in an epic series sure to delight fantasy fans everywhere. Long ago, in a time forgotten, a preternatural event threw the seasons out of balance. In a land where summers can last decades and winters
Shout out George R. Martin. I love books, guys, so eventually I'm probably going to go through this video in sections, and it's a book called A Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire, but that's a series, I was right, but I mean this is book one of a series, or I think it's maybe, I'm not sure, a double series hard book set you can buy, or maybe 3 series. I don't know. They tend to do 3 series, 4 series for each, but I couldn't tell you with the books. I know with the seasons it's different on the actual one eye. So when it's on there, obviously you have many seasons. You're just listening to one point of it, not 2 TVs. They're just telling you what they think. How about what next man thinks? So you need 2 people to believe someone. I believe for something. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know about Dean. Yeah. All I know is I used to go out with a girl called Jean. She never used to like Jean. So yeah, I don't know. But all I know is it's about the Lord, not Dean. People can say it's Dean, it's not Dean. Learn about gods. It's God. If it's Yeshua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if it's the Lord Almighty, Lord God, many words we will, on our journeys we will find out. So this guys, it's a fantasy, so don't take it as, oh yeah, pagan. You listen to this, it's just fantasy. You just can drift off to a different world for 10-20 minutes a day reading a book. Okay, just fantasy, man. So let's go. Game of Thrones, George R.R. Martin, shout out to George R.R. Martin. And so yeah, George R.R. Martin. I wish we could have like the pages turn. Do we have to pay for that? So should we do that? I don't know. But these should be hard books, I believe. Books like this. If it's that sort of size, and if it is quite a big book, then I believe, yeah, it should be hardback. If it weighs a certain, then yeah, it can be paperback. But it won't last you long. But that's, you know, that's what you pay for paperbacks, because you know why, innit? Because, come on, man. Forget it, man. Alright. You know why? Huh? Me tell a lie. Yeah, I don't know why, honestly. But I think, yeah, paperbacks, in my opinion, would deteriorate a lot faster than hard books. And paperback books are good when you haven't got the plush books and money for it. You go on budget, so you look after extra care. You can buy the plastic wrappers over it that you buy for your kids' school book if they get wet in rain. You can do that with those books. Hardbacks, you're laughing, but you need dough. If you got that dough, you'll glow, but only for a certain time if your heart has no Joe. Okay, you know what Joe is, innit? Yeah. I come from many countries.
Other books.
Joe, yeah. Joe doesn't mean like as in Hassan Joe, China, or Jikun Park Si or Hija. You know, we say Joe, yeah. Joe means really bad word. I'm not gonna say.
Books by George R.R. Martin.
Oh,
The Light.
Mountain.
Windhaven with Lisa Tuttle.
Listen, my English is appalling.
Now returned to writing novels
My English is
full-time.
appalling, so I might be reading out loud after this awesome man, it seems, well spoken. Yeah, this fine gentleman here with such an eloquent way of speaking. The English Queen is grammar, it's similar. Yeah, so let's listen. I might read a bit with him to, you know, learn that posh accent and that. So I'm gonna try to, you know, just make videos for fucking jokes, yeah. And imitation is the best form of flattery. So certain stuff we like, I'll try to copy it. I ain't gonna sing, yeah, unless you pay me a fucking £1,000, and then I might sing, yeah, later. Even then, you're gonna get a fucking dig. We don't sing for £10 million. We just, honestly, we don't do that shit, man. Yeah, man. One day you never know. Yeah, money in the bank. Yes.
And is presently at work on A Dance with Dragons, the second book of A Song of Fire and Ice. Other books by George R.R. Martin. Dying of the Light.
See my big mouth, I'm gonna shut up.
Allies and Enemies. The Fate of the Stark.
Okay, start again. It's gonna be a long ass video, guys.
45742. A Game of Thrones.
Bit by bit.
A Song of Ice and Fire.
Chop it.
Book 1.
Okay.
By George R.R. Martin. Copyright 1996 by George R.R. Martin.
Okay, copyright.
Read by Roy Avers.
This book was originally created for audio cassette playback.
Okay.
Any announcements concerning cassettes do not apply to this recording.
Okay.
This version contains a marker allowing direct access to the beginning of the book.
Right.
Library of Congress annotation. In a bygone world of decades-long seasons, 3 families struggle for the throne.
Okay.
When Honorable Lord Eddard Stark of Winterfell is sent south to be the hand of the king, he faces many ambitious and ruthless people. Meanwhile, the king contends with wildlings and creatures beyond the domain wall. Some descriptions of sex, some strong language, and some violence. 1996. From the book jacket. From a master of contemporary fantasy comes a novel of imaginative power unlike any you've ever read before. In A Game of Thrones, George R.R. Martin has created a genuine masterpiece, bringing together the best the genre has to offer. Mystery, intrigue, romance, and adventure fill the pages of this magnificent saga, the first volume in an epic series sure to delight fantasy fans everywhere. Long ago, in a time forgotten, a preternatural event threw the seasons out of balance. In a land where summers can last decades and winters a lifetime, trouble is brewing. The cold is returning, and in the frozen waste to the north of Winterfell, sinister forces are massing beyond the kingdom's protective wall. To the south, the king's powers are failing, his most trusted advisor dead under mysterious circumstances, and his enemies emerging from the shadows of the throne. At the center of the conflict lie the Starks of Winterfell, a family as harsh and unyielding as the frozen land they were born to.
Okay.
Now, Lord Eddard Stark is reluctantly summoned to serve as the king's new hand, an appointment that threatens to sunder not only his family, but the kingdom itself.
Yeah.
Sweeping from a harsh land of cold to a summertime kingdom of Epicurean plenty, A Game of Thrones tells a tale of lords and ladies, soldiers and sorcerers, assassins and bastards who come together in a time of grim omens. Here, an enigmatic band of warriors bear swords of no human metal. A tribe of fierce wildlings carry men off into madness. A cruel young dragon prince barters his sister to win back his throne.
Okay.
A child is lost in the twilight between life and death. And a determined woman undertakes a treacherous journey to protect all she holds dear.
Okay.
Amid plots and counterplots, tragedy and betrayal, victory and terror, allies and enemies, the fate of the Starks hangs perilously in the balance, as each side endeavors to win that deadliest of conflicts, the Game of Thrones. Unparalleled in scope and execution, A Game of Thrones is one of those rare reading experiences that catch you up from the opening pages, won't let you go until the end, and leave you yearning for more.
Okay.
About the author.
But
George R.R.
okay, but over. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So it seems that this has many volumes to it, and 10 hours, and to break that down, it's too many videos. This is something you have to buy the book. I wouldn't recommend myself personally listen to it on here. I recommend you read the book. You read the book a few times, and then if you ever want to watch it on here, watch something like this, because 10 hours, no man, that's a lot of money there, man. Yeah, 10 times 10, yeah. Is that, what is that, 10, I can't see, man, is that 10? Yeah, 1020, man. It's a lot of money, man, when you fucking, times that by 10, yeah. And just say you earn that fucking £300 a day, yeah. I mean, fucked, innit, man? Fuck, man. But yeah, sounds brilliant, doesn't it? A tale of fantasy, of betrayal, terror, family, loyalty, dishonor, did he say, or something? land of three families who were really, really, really actually born of the ice, like people and from there, so they're actually probably like strong people in the ice and that. And then they got witchcraft and all that fantasy, pagan stuff a bit in it. So I don't know. It might be interesting if in the book and that, because I'm sure Game of Thrones, if it's wild, guys, we're not putting it on here. If it's like a bad story, like we'll find out. Between the bastards, that doesn't sound too good. I want to hear a little bit more, and then we're gonna say goodbye. Unknown brothers, unknown brother out.
Amid plots and counterplots, tragedy and betrayal, victory and terror, allies and enemies, the fate of the Starks hangs perilously in the balance as each side endeavors to win that deadliest of conflicts, the Game of Thrones. Unparalleled in scope and execution, A Game of Thrones is one of those rare reading experiences that catch you up from the opening pages, won't let you go until the end, and leave you yearning for more. About the author. George R.R. Martin is the award-winning author of 5 novels, including Fever Dream and The Armageddon Rag. For the last 10 years, he has been a screenwriter for feature films and television, and was a writer-producer of the TV series Beauty and the Beast, as well as story editor for The Twilight Zone. After a 10-year hiatus, he has now returned to writing novels full-time, and is presently at work on A Dance with Dragons, the second book of A Song of Fire and Ice. Other books by George R.R. Martin. Dying of the Light. Windhaven with Lisa Tuttle. Dead Man's Hand with John J. Miller. Short story collections. A Song for Laia and Other Stories. Songs of Stars and Shadows.
Okay.
Sand Kings. Songs the Dead Men Sing. Night Flyers. Tough Voyaging. Portraits of His Children.
Oh, and you know when you burst and go to the bathroom, but
Editor of
just
New
know
Voices in
nothing's
Science
gonna
Fiction,
come out.
Volumes 1 to 4.
Constipating, not
The
good.
Science Fiction Weight Loss Book with
COVID
Isaac
for
Asimov
20
and Martin
months.
Harry Greenberg. The John W. Campbell Awards, Volume 5.
Bullshit.
Night Visions 3.
Every day.
Wild Cards 1 to 15. This one is for Melinda. Reader's note. The maps found in the print edition are not included in this recording.
Okay.
End of note.
Okay.
Prologue.
Okay.
We should start back.
Prologue.
Garrett urged
Okay.
as the woods
So
began.
we don't really want to know the prologue because we don't really want to know the story because they'll give it away basically. If I hear that, probably give it away. It seems like a very eloquent man is R.R. Martin in his writings. Seems like he's a very, very wise man, very, very like Gandalf, like wise. Seems like his fantasies, he's not just thought about it for a couple of years, 10 years, like that. He's probably had these sort of dreams from a child. Yeah, man. Interesting, very interesting. Right, guys, can I bugger off now? Leave me alone, unknown, brother. Out.